camera is right here.
Oh, there,
the
up
lens.
there, yeah. I wasn't sure where the lens is.
아, 그렇습니까?
But I wasn't sure where the lens was. Well, you've got an extended lens on your iPhone.
Yeah,
Does it make it a lot better?
it does.
It gives
a little
more
different.
angle.
More light,
Yeah.
more light.
And the bigger framing.
Okay. There you go. People are
Well,
coming
this is
in.
us already.
Yeah. 네, 여러분들 반갑습니다. 두 번째 연사분을 모셨는데요. 여러분들 아까 말씀드린 것처럼 굉장히 핫 이슈, 핫 토픽으로 찾아왔습니다. 바로 로봇의 신화죠. 그리고 또 인공지능 분야의 대가시기도 합니다. 셰필드대 인공지능 로봇공학과 명예교수시고요. 지금 꾸준한 방송 활동을 통해서 다양한 로봇의 적용들, 이런 부분에 대해서 활발한 활동을 하고 계신 분이기도 합니다. Professor Noel Sharkey 한번 만나보도록 할게요. Hello, Professor. Nice to meet you.
Good
How
to
are
meet
you?
you.
How are you? How have you been? This is your first time visiting Korea, or?
Yes, it is. I've been to Jeju Island before, but not to the mainland. This is my first visit to Seoul.
So how's your first initial impression?
Well, I'm very excited to be here, but I only came in last night, so I'm going to have a day off on Friday, on Thursday, and tomorrow that is, and really look around the place. I'm sorry, I'm confused about time because of the time differences.
Right, the jet lags and all
Yeah,
stuff.
it's quite
So you
hard.
plan to visit different parts of Korea, or just mainly in
No,
Seoul?
no, I'm only going to Seoul. I'm only got one day off here, so I'm going to have to try and find things to do on that one day that really representative things.
All right. Well, before we begin our interview, could you please say hi to our Facebook Live fans?
Hello, Facebook Live fans.
People are saying, "Oh, I'm from Jeju. Hi, how are you?" Like they're chatting right now
I
at the
see.
same time. Simultaneously, we're communicating together.
Well, I did love Jeju. It was a really beautiful place. It was incredible, I thought.
Yes. So, technology. It's developing.
Yes.
Just like, the Facebook Live interview.
Yes, exactly.
This technology is developing more and more to the extent that we can't imagine what we can do with it. And then you are definitely the head, the master of robotics. So can you explain what robotics is? Just briefly to the people.
That's a very big question. Well, you could think of a robot as being a computer with a lot of sensors connected to it and motors. So what happens is sensors are what its eyes and ears. So it can be a camera, it can be infrared, it can be something like your household alarm, it can be a microphone. It picks up that information, it processes that information and sends signals to a motor that make it move. That's essentially the whole of robotics. That's your lecture that will tell you everything you ever need to know about robots.
Right. But then I'm not a science guy, I'm not a science
yeah.
geek, so it's very hard for us to understand the mechanism. But
Yes.
what we do know is that sometimes it's scary.
Yes.
Because when we look at the movies and then the artificial intelligence and robots, they develop
Yes.
over time.
Yes.
And then sometimes we have a question, can they transcend the human power? So could you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
I don't know, but certainly not in the foreseeable future. I mean, I can't speak about 300 years' time or something. What they can do very well is to exceed us on particular tasks. For instance, here, we had AlphaGo here,
Right.
which beat Lee Sedol.
Yeah.
And that was a really big AI achievement, of course. But it was a singular task. And you have to remember that machine didn't care less whether it won or not. It didn't know that it was playing a game, and it couldn't make you a cup of tea afterwards. So it's a pretty stupid machine in the sense of humans.
Right.
So what AI is very good at is these very single tasks, and it can be a great tool for humanity if we get it right. I'm not concerned at all myself about AI suddenly developing and taking over the world.
Right.
What I'm really concerned about is not AI but natural stupidity rather than artificial intelligence. So it's how we use these tools and what sort of control we give them in our healthcare system, in our surgery system, in our policing, in our military, all those things. If we do the joined up thinking right, if our governments, we can persuade our governments to really think about these things, then that would be great. And my biggest concern is that we're in the cusp of a robot revolution and AI revolution, and we're just going to let it happen the way we let the internet happen, and then it's too late to do anything about it afterwards.
Right. So then I have a question, and then people are asking, about the programming. This artificial intelligence and robots, they are all made by men.
Yes.
But then
and women.
Depends on men and women, humankind.
Let's not be sexist.
Right. But then that means humans are controlling it. But then it's very important to ask who's controlling it and how we're going to control it and how we're going to regulate and manage those things. Do you have solutions for that? I mean, do you have any suggestions for that?
No, but humans are not controlling it. They're controlling it in the sense that they program it.
Right.
But if you look at financial trading, for instance, it's happening so quickly now
Right.
that real estate near Wall Street is getting very expensive because the actual length of the cable is important, that the trading is happening so quickly. So it's happening too quickly for humans to be able to intervene. So if there was something, a worldwide financial crash, it would all be over before a human even knew that it had happened.
Right.
All we'd know is that the stock exchange has been wiped out. And it's the same with many aspects of our lives, letting machines go so quickly that we can't intercede. But if we're careful about what we let them control, then it's okay.
You think it's okay?
It's okay as long as we're clear about our guidelines and our boundaries, and we regulate it properly and not over-regulate, because of course regulation could stifle innovation. So we have to be very careful. That's why we need to not just talk to governments who will do the regulating, but we need to have a multidisciplinary group of experts. I co-found and co-direct the Foundation for Responsible Robotics, and that's a big group that's multidisciplinary, social scientists, law people, roboticists, and getting together to give advice to governments about how to proceed.
Well, speaking of that, Johnson, he's asking, to what extent should the creator of robots be blamed if the robots should show unethical behavior? Can they show unethical behavior? Is it possible? Like, we program to be a good robot, but then they self-develop and then they getting the intelligence. And then one day, can they do something that's unethical?
Well, they can do something that's unethical without developing a great deal of intelligence, but is us being unethical or them being unethical? And it's a very important question you're asking there, because who do you hold accountable if a robot goes wrong? You can't punish a robot.
Right.
I mean, it's not going to suffer, is it?
Yeah.
So it could muddy the whole chain of accountability. Supposing you have an autonomous car, for instance, a self-driving car, and it's parking, and someone drives past in a truck and covers the parking sensors with mud, and it runs into a child and kills them. Can you hold the truck driver accountable? Do you hold the car manufacturer accountable? Was it the driver? Should they have made sure that the sensors were clean? So it's a very important question that we really need to address. I can't answer that question, but I can say that it's something that needs to be looked at.
So if you were to give us a suggestion, what must we keep in mind when we're dealing with artificial intelligence or robots?
We must keep in mind human dignity and the meaning of human life, because if we let a machine decide on certain things, it doesn't know about us, it doesn't know about our dignity. Imagine an AI being a judge in a court case, and it's not understanding human life and our values, and that's one of the problems. So we need to be sure not to let them do that, and then we don't have to worry about super intelligence or anything else. It's all sorted out in advance.
Right. Okay. We'll get one last question.
Sure.
And then they say, if you look at the science fiction movie, those development of artificial intelligence and robots, they are eventually managing, controlling the humankind.
That's right.
Can that really happen? Because you're saying that humans are controlling it,
Yes.
and then we are the last person to give order to the robots. But then can it really control humans? Because what they're concerning also is we got no jobs in the future, because all the robots are going to take place.
Yeah. There's two separate things there. One is what control should we allow humans, but what was it he asked? Sorry, I've forgotten again.
Well, she asked,
Excuse me.
can robots control humankind? That's the first question. And second question is, can they replace our job? So where is our job in the future?
You talked about, you see these science fiction movies. You must really make sure that you focus on the second word there, fiction. I love science fiction. I'm a really big science fiction fan. but it's fiction. I mean, you might like fairy tales, but you don't believe in fairies necessarily.
Okay.
So I'm not really too concerned at the moment about AI suddenly becoming sentient or Skynet or those things. It's
Okay.
great science fiction, plot structure and things, but I'm not worried about that. But I am very, very worried about jobs. Very worried.
Okay.
Because machines are being able to do all sorts of jobs, particularly in the service industry.
Right.
There are machines now that can cut fresh meat from scratch, right? Just get a piece of steak, cut it up, make it into a burger and serve it faster than a person in McDonald's can flip a burger. Now, how many millions of jobs will that lose? Self-driving technology, 3.5 million jobs in the United States could go according to that. You've got now news reporters, for instance, junior news reporters in sports and weather are starting to lose their jobs because of AI systems. Legal advisors, low-level medical diagnosers, all those jobs could go. In fact, we could end up with mass unemployment, and there's not really enough thinking about if we have that kind of mass unemployment. Some people are saying, of course, people will just get other jobs.
Right.
There's other jobs will appear, but it's not clear that there will be other jobs now when robots and AI start doing all the work. So is there going to be a sort of upper class of people who are rich and a lot of people starving? And that's a real worry. I don't have an answer for it.
Right. Well, I should finish the interview, but I have one last question.
Okay, sure.
So when I'm listening to this, it is a problem, right? And then we got to be prepared for that.
Yes, that's right.
So do we have to change ourselves and then have a strategy in the future? So, for example, should we change to the jobs that the robots can do, or can we regulate the robotics?
Well, those are the kinds of questions that are important. Or do we change the way we work finances and we give everybody a basic income, and then they can work and get more money, but everybody is fed and secure. There are many things like that. I'm not an economist, I can't really answer. But I should say in finishing, if I may, because we've been a bit negative here, and I think that robotics and AI could really be of great benefit to mankind if we can get it right, if we can get it responsible, because they could really help in food production, repairing climate damage, from our own selves. Those are the kinds of things that robots could be really good at. They already work under the sea, looking at the ice caps. Humans can't go there. Looking at the melting, repairing coral reefs, all those things are incredible things. But if we get it wrong, it's going to be really awful.
So the matter is getting it right.
Getting it right, yes.
All right. Well, thank you for the interview.
You're very welcome.
And then I
Thank you.
wish you have a great time in Korea.
Thank you, I will.
And then good luck on your last day.
Thank you.
Could you say the last word to the Facebook Live fans?
The last word.
The last words. 여러분들 반갑습니다. 우리 노엘 샤키님과 인터뷰 나누는데요. 여러분들이 질문을 굉장히 많이 해주셨고요. 저희는 세 번째 연사로 다시 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. 세 번째 연사는 12시에 찾아뵙는 걸로 하겠습니다. You are watching 2016 Asian Leadership Conference. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.